Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
All right, what's up, everybody? You're gonna have to forgive me for the echo in this room. I'm on vacation. I'm out here in Florida. The heat is different out here, and I'm from Arkansas, so that says a lot. I'm not about to burn up recording outside, so I'm in the workout room. This is a really doped out Airbnb pool table, basketball goal, inside pool, crazy. But Rode microphones aren't working properly, so you're gonna have to just bear with me. But we have to talk about this. So a couple of days ago, I did a live stream where we covered Andrew Tate. And in that video, at the very beginning, I decided to talk about this clip that I caught at the very beginning before it started to trend of this creator named Plaqueboy Max, somebody that I kept calling Playboy Max. And I think it was a Freudian slip because he actually reminds me a lot of Playboi Carti. It is very obvious to me that he has been heavily influenced by a person named Playboi Carti, who is a very big musician in the world. He's another one of those guys that's supposed to be gangster, tied to a very top gang in Atlanta. But he, at one point in his career, went from being this sort of normal guy to transitioning to this sort of fluid, obviously at one point not so obvious, homosexual, zesty, really weird energy type of guy. Well, Max reminds me a lot of him. And Plaqueboy Max first came across my timeline maybe a little bit over a year ago when I saw a clip that went viral when he was sitting down with the rapper Lil Baby, another rapper who has came into the game sort of like this normal guy. And I'm not going to say that he's completely transitioned like a Playboi Carti, but Lil Baby got his moments. He's come out in weird outfits on stage. He was kind of that infamous photo at the all-white party where he was with the basketball player Kyle Kuzma and the other guy that his name is escaping me at the moment. He's like one of the industry inside leaders. But he was sitting down with Lil Baby and they were talking about how, despite the fact that Plaqueboy Max allegedly apparently paid Lil Baby $250,000 to sit down with him, Lil Baby still refused to rap, although everybody knew that this is what Plaqueboy Max did. He had like a rap string thing going.
They saying you scamming
for saying I was half for the check.
Yeah, because they want to see you rap, bro.
So what a part about it that is the scam?
Because they think you don't want to rap and you're not rapping. You get what I'm saying?
Well, no, but how's that a scam?
Because
I didn't tell y'all come on here to see me rap. Who the fuck I'm scamming? He said
they
50% Jillian. What the fuck?
They just use they just using the word scam loosely. Like,
oh, they don't know scam. Maybe
yeah.
It's just like you scam. It might be like
as a bad word in it to me.
Okay, so look, right? So now I was talking about like making music on string and shit.
Huh?
When it be coming on, it be rapping, but you're not rapping, so that's why they saying scam.
Yeah. Rap screen.
Yeah, that's what I be doing. Shit.
I ain't know that.
Nah, but I told y'all before. You know what I'm saying? Like
now you finna say that we scam.
No, you ain't scam game. If you don't want to rap, you don't want to rap. You don't got to rap. I'm dead. You don't got to rap. You don't want to rap.
Duh.
You feel me?
I'm saying you.
Duh.
I thought that was a bit weird, number one, because I was like, who is this guy? I'm not as big in the streaming world as many others, so many people probably knew about Plaqueboy Max well before that point. What I'm questioning is, how can you afford $250,000 for a rapper to sit down with you one time, if I'm understanding this correctly? So that was already very strange to me. Anyways, they were a part of a stream. There was a part of a stream within the Streamer University hosted by Casanet. Many of you all already know what this is. And there's a clip went viral because this guy named OJ, a streamer named OJ, decided to check, and I believe he respectfully checked Plaqueboy Max and his all of a sudden diva personality, right? His diva phase. A grown man, that being Plaqueboy Max, is out here saying that he's a diva, he's a bad bitch, he can do what he wants. He's on stream talking about why is it that twerking is not a genderless dance, and
I'm stroking the ground or doing some wild nut shit or twerking. Why don't we twerk? Now that I think about it, why is twerk a gender neutral dance? Twerking is the only gender neutral dance. I'm tweaking?
just weird things. He came out on stage, which is one of the ways in which I tell you all, he's obviously inspired by the likes of a Playboi Carti. He came out on stage in this wig, and notice that he put on the blonde wig. We've talked about what blonde hair represents, as we've seen with so many people in the industry, from the women to the men, from Eminem to Nicki Minaj to Lil Wayne, Plaqueboy Carti himself, Drewski, Lil Uzi Vert, Young Thug, and the list goes on. There's a reason for that. Well, they were a part of Streamer University at this place in Arkansas. Of all states, nobody ever comes to Arkansas for anything but to retire. So the fact that Connect decided to come to Arkansas was already crazy to me. But then on top of that, he decided to come to Conway, Arkansas, which is where I'm from. So I was like, that's interesting. But then when I found out where he went, it made a little bit more sense. He went to Hendrix University. Hendrix University is a private university and it's one of the most progressive, and it has some of the most Freemasonic and occultic historical ties that a lot of people don't know about, that I found out when I was at the campus. I didn't attend the college, but I have friends that graduated from the college, and it's a lot I found out about the college whenever I was younger, and I went to parties and I went to study sessions on the campus. There's a lot I found out about. So it makes sense why they did that, because they're the people who are behind creating the college have Freemasonic ties, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyways, this clip has since went mega viral. And I mean, it's everywhere. And what I said on my live stream is that there's no way at this point in time, unless you're super young and you're new to these things, that you think that it's a coincidence that all of these streamers either come into the game super zesty, super fruity acting, homosexual, bisexual, fluid, or at some point they switch up out of nowhere and they start doing these things on stream. Number one, there's a few reasons they're doing it. And all of it means that they sold their soul. Number one, they're doing it because they know it'll trend. That's hypocritical. What do I mean? Because most of these people are progressive, right? That is to say, they're not conservative minded. They're not biblical minded. They're not following Christ minded. Regardless of what they'll say, many of them are not. And you'll watch, because you can tell by a person's fruits, right? The fruit that they bear will be able to tell you what it is that they believe and what they represent. And so what they'll do is some of them are not actually gay, very small percentage. Many of them are not willing to do things to compromise their sexuality, very small percentage, but they're willing to behave and pretend like it on camera, which is still a form of selling your soul, because they're trying to get views, they're trying to clip farm, they're trying to go viral. The ironic thing about that is, while also claiming to be progressive and that you can have one love, which is something that Boy Max was saying on camera after he was checked for pushing this diva personality, this diva mentality. He was checked by OJ, respectfully checked, as he should have been.
You're a diva. Why you want to be a diva? You want to be a diva? Man, you need holy oil, right? You need to sit down in the holy oil. You need to go get a church bath and cleanse your body, right? I think you are confused. I think you need some guidance. I think your parents feel a little way about that. I think you're clip farming and you're getting your clips. You pushing the persona. You smart. You loyal. I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You've been at this. But you are not a diva. Diva's bent over. I don't think you're bent over. You're not the little boys in Clover. You're not Tota. You're not a diva. You are a grown man. Plaqueboy Max. Not Plaqueboy Batty. Not Plaqueboy R. Are you going to tell your son that you are a diva? Daddy, what's diva? Hey. That is an abomination, Max. I am not proud of you. I am proud of everything else you did. Nominations, changing the game, changing your skin to Batty, diva. Diva start with D. Diddy. What else? You know, it's like this, Max. And you know, I could speak like this because after the clips go up and they don't like me, I don't use social media no more, so I can be a crackhead for life. When you keep pushing that barrier, Max, when you keep pushing that barrier, and time passes, what happens? What next? What's the next engagement? What's the next clip? Don't lose yourself, don't sell your soul, Max. They want your soul because you changed the game. Don't sell your soul. You know I have a soul. You know I don't hold my tongue. You know you the first person that ever subbed me up as a big streamer in my chat. You ain't mention it. You don't know how much I appreciate you. But you bigger than that. Don't forget like you for your personality. Is you crazy? You need to put on no persona. You broke through with music. Is you crazy? To suck my don't like you. It's like the character, but your main like you. elevate you on your own stream? Is you crazy? You him? You're not no diva. What the f? Oh, not drive that. That's not true. You putting the character too much. God, you ain't no diva. I'm gonna pop it because I'm not gonna get no comments today. I'm talking about I'm gonna get my because I went to SU, but I'm not no diva. You fly though, you got fire, I'll give you that. You have to die me on that. You got fire, I'll give you that. You fly. You're not no diva.
But as you will notice, after the fact, he started talking about this is one love and there's nothing wrong with being gay and what's wrong with y'all and this is who I am and I am a diva and be you and it's what makes you unique.
If you don't f with me or like viewers and fans, if they how do I explain it, hate on me or don't f with me, that's cool, because at the end of the day it's like I don't know them, but on my own platform it's like, damn bro, if you f with me and really felt that way, why would you say on the stream in front of hundreds of niggas? You don't care about it for real, you just know it go viral. This is me, I'm crazy. This is me. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I might be a little weird, bro. I might test some shit. Oh, bro. I don't give a fuck. What's wrong with being gay? There's nothing wrong with that, bro. Y'all just whack. You're corny. And you just think out of the next thing. You don't have your own mind, bro. That's whack. But I'm gonna be myself, regardless. None of y'all can just fuck with me. I don't care. You might think that because you're closed-minded, but it's one love, bro. It's one love.
But he wouldn't say any of that when OJ was speaking to him. Why? Because the words that OJ said, number one, he know that OJ was coming from a place of sincerity and love. He also knows that OJ didn't mean any harm. He knows that the words that OJ was saying, most importantly, were true. He spoke to Plaqueboy Max's soul, and Plaqueboy Max was speechless, which is why he waited until after OJ walked off, after he went on this long rant. He had more than enough time to talk and say whatever he wanted as a response, but he chose not to. There's a reason for that. But let's talk about it. In his rant after the fact, Plaqueboy Max was saying, there's only one love, and all this, that, and the third. Don't you find it interesting that many of these people will say it's only one love while claiming to be heterosexual, right? But then they'll cosplay, right? They'll play this caricature of being gay on camera. Isn't that disrespectful to the same community you're claiming there's nothing wrong with? So why do you think it's cool? Why do you think it goes viral? You say, well, because the masses are behind, society is behind, and they get, it always does views. No. It's still disrespectful to the community you're claiming to protect. It's still disrespectful to those that have a sexuality to the same sex that you claim there's nothing wrong with. So why are you using it? It's the same way that women will say that because most women are progressive in nature if it wasn't for the most influential man in their life, right? If the most influential man in their life is conservative, most times that woman will turn out to be conservative as well, whether that be her dad, her husband, her uncle, her father figure, so on and so forth. But if you leave them be, most women, I am under the impression, would be progressive by nature, right? One love, love everybody, allow people to live their life as long as they're not hurting anybody. All right, we've all heard these things. Here's the problem. While in the same breath they'll tell you that being women will say, there's nothing wrong with being gay and blah, 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 right? But then the moment that a man offends them, what do they say to the man? You're gay. They use it as an insult. I'm digressing. Let's get to the bigger point of this video. It's not a coincidence that Plaqueboy Max turns out this way because allegedly, everything I say in this video is alleged, of course. Allegedly, Plaqueboy Max was placed into position. Does not mean that people can find a track record of him growing, but I do not believe that his growth was organic. Right? I believe he came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere does not mean you can't find clips of him on the internet when he had very few followers. That's how they do a lot of people, including Sexy Red. I've exposed that, but we can talk about that in another video as well. It is not a coincidence, right? These people are placed in a position to push this agenda on purpose, right? And he's not the only one. You got all these different creators from I Show Speed, Kasanat, Drewski has had his moments, even though he's not a traditional streamer. You get my point. And many others of just doing homosexual suspect things on camera in order to trend. And what really irked my nerves, I saw this one YouTuber, I forget his name. To my surprise, so many people gave pushback to the creator OJ. They were upset with the dude. Why would you address him on camera? You should have talked to him off camera if you really cared about him. You could have pulled him to the side, much like Plaqueboy Max himself said. Max said that as well. If you cared about me, you could have said it off camera. Nah, dog. You can't have the cake and eat it too. It don't work both ways. You can't push this diva mentality talking about why it is that men should be able to twerk just like women and shake their behinds, putting on wigs and tattooing diva.
Whoa, what did I say? It say diva. Bro, that's real? No, yes. You think it's makeup or something?
Let me ask you this before I make my assumption. What does diva mean to you?
I'm a bad. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
You a bad?
Bad is the most confident people in the world.
Right.
Taking it on some weird shit, talking about I want to be a.
But you are free to do all those things, but you are also free to be addressed publicly, just the way you decided to do all of this publicly. Because I'm gonna tell you what happens if OJ was to pull him to the side. Which, by the way, this is probably not the first time somebody said this to him. It's just every other time it's probably been private. And you see what impact it's had on him? Zero. What do I mean by that? The fact that OJ decided to do that on camera, which is the same way he decided that being Max decided to push this poison onto the youth. He should be addressed on camera the way he's pushed things on camera. What that does is he feels shame. He's embarrassed. He's conflicted. It makes him second guess. We need to bring back public shame. Because if you pull him to the side, if you're OJ, you talk to him for about 3 to 5 minutes stretch, give him the whole pep talk. Max most likely will probably never tell anybody about that clip. Since he has the much bigger platform compared to the guy OJ, he'll never tell anybody about this clip. Nobody ever see it. It'll never go viral. The youth and the people who need to see it will probably never come across this clip, and they won't actually have it ingrained in their minds that, hey, there are consequences for your actions. You can't just do anything just to go viral and think that there are no consequences, because there is. But there was this YouTuber who titled his video something along the lines of, "A streaming university has shown me how bad streamers are, kind of how bad influencers are," something to that effect. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I clicked on the video and I was like, dude, this is so disgusting, bro. So he starts off the video talking about essentially how people are willing to do anything to go viral. Everything is content nowadays. People are constantly yelling and doing the most and exaggerating and fabricating beefs and drama just to trend, just to make money, just to grow their platform. And then in the same breath he said, he was one of those many people who said that OJ was also wrong because he was trying to go viral, get clips or get views and quote unquote clip farm himself by addressing Plaqueboy Max on camera. How? What he did is God's work. What he did by addressing that man was respectful, by the way. How was he wrong for doing that? You got a grown man that OJ claims to have seen early on, and he is seeing him transition in real time. And he's telling him, whoa, bro, chill out. What are you doing? Don't lose yourself. Don't sell your soul. But these people on the internet say, nah, you shouldn't tell him that. You should allow him to do whatever he wants, even if it includes losing himself. Let him lose himself. It makes you a bad friend if you try to stop him. This is what I mean. The internet is not a real place. Because anybody in real life that actually cares about you and they're watching you lose yourself, right? Because I believe, again, that Plaqueboy Max was already destined to be this way. But if they're watching you lose yourself, they're supposed to say something. Or to these people, nah, let it be however it's supposed to be. Do whatever you want. Influence the masses, whatever. No, I don't co-sign that. Do you think it's a coincidence that all of the biggest streamers in the world all entertain their sexuality on camera? It's either for views and or there is something else going on. How are they collaborating with the biggest people in the world? How are they going to do that? You think that's a coincidence? As they say, you think they're going to let a real one get into those spaces? No, because certain people are going to be checked for certain behaviors, certain clip farming. It's not going to fly. That's why certain people are not allowed into streaming university, right? Many of the biggest creators that join streaming university, I was just telling my buddy this the other day, are literally signed to the same talent agency as Casanat, including Lizzo, who claims that she didn't even sign up for it. Somebody else signed up on her behalf. But she just so happened to be signed to the same talent agency as Casanat. How come many of the people that joined were already established creators? It's rigged. They're supposed to show you how to go viral and how the business side of things and to collaborate, and they'll show you the behind the scenes. Really? Is that really what they're doing? Because I guarantee a lot of the things that they show you, maybe you'll learn a nugget here or two, but many of the things that they'll learn, they could have found it out on the internet. Anyways, you got Plaqueboy Max putting on wigs, and you got Plaqueboy Max, piercing his face just like NBA Youngboy and Lil Wayne and Young Thug, who are all seen on camera doing zesty things. Why is it always the sexuality that goes first? Especially with these men. That's what everybody should be asking themselves. Hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, man. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.